Welcome to Omni Sage Official. Let me ask you something that you've probably felt, but never dared to put into words. What if you didn't stumble upon this video? What if it was sent to find you? Because if you carry the sacred M on your palm and the unmistakable crescent moon mark, listen carefully. This message isn't meant for everyone. This isn't another motivational video. This is a call from the invisible realm. A signal that your soul has been waiting for, maybe for life. It was created as a compass for the scattered chosen ones, to help you find your coordinates in a world trying to confuse your internal GPS. You're not here to blend in, to mimic, or to hide. If you've ever felt like an outsider in your own home, like you've been trained by pain to survive what others collapse under, this message is for you. If a subtle harmony with the divine hummed within you as you experienced this intro, tell us where you're tuning. Would you mind sharing that gentle echo by leaving 888 in the comments? Chosen one, you are the anomaly that shakes the illusion. There are fingerprints of the divine all over your life, etched into your palms, carved into your dreams, echoed in your setbacks. When you were born, something ancient remembered you, and so did darkness. That's why your battles have always felt disproportionate to your age. Why people have betrayed you before they knew your full story. Why you were forced to grow up with spiritual muscles others never needed to develop. You carry the code M and the crescent moon. The sages called it a soul seal. Others called it madness. But they couldn't decode you because they were never meant to. Only the awakened can recognize the awakened. Let me give you a number, not random, not mystical fluff. The number 144,000. It's whispered in prophecy. It's etched into sacred texts. Some believe for a mission beyond ego, career, or even self-fulfillment. Is it literal? Metaphorical? That depends on you. But if that number triggers something ancient in your spirit, then lean in closer. You are not crazy. You are calibrated. Calibrated for disruption. That's why this world keeps trying to distract you. It doesn't want you focused. It wants you scrolling. It doesn't want you connected. It wants you drained. And most importantly, it wants you to believe that your gift is a burden instead of a key. But hear this, if you've been misread, misunderstood, mistreated, you've been marked. Because only the marked are targeted. And now, here's the shift. You've outgrown who you were trying to be. You're not meant to fit in with those who fear the sacred. They can't hold what burns through you. They were never meant to. Let me break something down that your spirit already knows, but your mind is still processing. The crescent moon, it's a portal, not an ornament. It's tied to lunar wisdom, to cycles of rebirth, to the prophetic power of intuition. People see these signs as oddities, but the spiritual know them as awakenings in flesh. So if you're still watching, I ask you this, are you ready to stop living beneath your calling just to make others feel safe? Because when a chosen one chooses silence, the world suffers. You carry a frequency that disrupts generational pain. You carry sight that cuts through illusion. And no, you're not too sensitive. You are tuned in to a frequency most people don't even know exists. You are not broken. You are broadcasting. From here forward, this channel is your mirror and map, a tool to remind you what the world keeps making you forget, that you were set apart, not left behind. And if this is resonating, pause and breathe. Let it settle in your bones. Comment the number 888 if you felt the stirring of so. It's not superstition, it's activation. Before we dive deeper, let me speak heart to heart for a moment. If you've made it this far, something inside you is being reawakened. You didn't land here just for entertainment. You landed here for alignment. So now, from soul to soul, I want to invite you to do something that goes beyond algorithms and subscriptions. Hit that subscribe button, not for me, but for your mission. Because this channel is more than a platform. It's a portal. And you'll need reminders, revelations, and realignment as your path unfolds. And while you're here, tell me in the comments, what's a spiritual topic or truth you've always wanted more guidance on? Share it like you're planting a seed, because you're not alone in this. We're building something real, and your voice might be the next spark someone else needs to rise. Now let's continue. Let's talk about rejection, the spiritual kind, not the petty, ego-bruised type, but the kind that nearly dies. Let's be clear, you weren't rejected, you were redirected. The letter M on your palm, it's not for misfit. It's a mark of movement. It means that everything that tried to stop you only trained you. Think back. The doors that slammed, the people who ghosted, the opportunities that crumbled in your hands. You thought you were cursed, but what if those denials were divine? Because chosen ones are not placed in easy paths. Their position frequencies others can't bear. You cried over that relationship because it felt like home. But home isn't always safe. Sometimes, home is the very thing that needs to be rebuilt. What walked away from you wasn't just walking away from love, it was walking away from your light. And some people, if they had stayed, would have corrupted the very destiny you're stepping into now. You were too much for them. Not because you were overwhelming, but because you were a mirror. And mirrors terrify you. Face themselves. Now here's where many chosen ones get stuck. They keep trying to reopen doors the universe locked with intention. You're not here to plead for access. You are here to build gates of your own. Rejection is protection. Discomfort is design. And when the universe removes someone, don't chase the ghost, bless the lesson. You weren't broken. You were repositioned. That job that never called back? That friend who turned cold? They were holding pieces of a version of you that was never meant to rise. Let me give you a sacred number, 777. Spiritually, this number reflects divine alignment, elevation after struggle, and the completion of a painful cycle. If you've seen it, or if this message awakens that code within you, know that you are on the edge of something holy. You are not being punished. You are being polished, set apart for something rare. And here's the twist that only the awakened understand. Your silence is louder than their chaos. Your absence than their presence. Your peace unsettles those still addicted to drama. The ones who hurt you didn't win. They lost access to the blessing attached to you. That's the real curse. So stop shrinking to keep others comfortable. Stop grieving over those who mistook your calling for competition. You weren't too much. You were too sacred. This is why you're still standing. This is why life didn't let you settle. Because you are anointed for disruption. And your healing? That's a revolution. One they never saw coming. And you want to know the part they'll never understand? You got stronger without bitterness. You got wiser without revenge. You evolved, and they'll still be talking about the old version of you that doesn't even exist anymore. Now I ask you again, chosen one. Are you finally ready to stop watering dead roots? Are you willing to embrace the sacred loneliness that precedes divine alignment? Because not everyone who walks with you now is meant to walk there. Sink in and stay with me. Because what's coming will answer the question that's haunted you most of all. Let's be honest. There were moments you questioned everything. Why the betrayal? Why the silence from heaven when your heart was screaming for relief? Why the long nights where your pillow became your only witness? But chosen one, the pain wasn't punishment. It was proof of your preparation. Because here's what no one told you. Thrones aren't given to those who never bled. They are reserved for those who stood when the storm begged them to kneel. And those with the mark, the M, the crescent moon, are not born into comfort. They are born into resistance, forged for elevation. You've been shaped by shadows, but the light that lives in you was never dimmed, just hidden, and now it's ready to break through like dawn after a century of night. The M is not just a marking, it's a message. It stands for messenger, mender, miracle bearer. And the crescent moon? Divine timing, a cycle closing, a season shifting. Let's talk about the question that has lived in the back of your soul. Was it worth it? Every loss, every unanswered prayer, every moment of being the strong one while no one noticed your tears. Let me give you your answer. Yes, because that pain became your permission slip to walk into purpose. Your wounds became windows for the light to enter. Your delays weren't denials. They were doors being built in realms you couldn't see yet. You were not left behind. You were being hidden for divine release. Here's what they never understood about your silence. It was never weakness, it was wisdom. You were observing, transforming. While they gossiped, you grew. While they plotted, you prayed. And while they expected your collapse, heaven was preparing your coronation. They'll say it happened suddenly. But you and I both know this has been in motion for years. Your divine hands. Let me give you the final number. 888. It's not just a number, it's the number of infinite abundance, spiritual resurrection, and divine completion. It means the cycle is closed. Now rise. If this message resonated deeply, if you feel the echo in your bones, type 888 in the comments. Seal it, anchor it, declare it. And now, I want to ask for your heart, not just your attention. Subscribe, not because it's routine, but because you know you found something rare here. A space where your pain is translated, where your journey is sacred, where your spirit isn't dismissed, but celebrated. This is a spiritual archive, a sanctuary for those who carry the codes. If this video reminded you of who you really are, then you belong here. And please share your insight in the comments. What truth awakened in you during this message? Your voice is not just for echo chambers, it's for activation. You sensitive. Let them misunderstand your silence, your standards, your solitude. Because while they chase relevance, you carry reverence. You weren't made for the spotlight. You were made to shift atmospheres simply by existing. Let this be your reminder. You didn't survive by accident. You were selected by design. Your scars are sacred. Your marks are divine. And your moment? It's already moving. So rise, chosen one, not in anger, not in fear, but in full awareness of what you carry. The era of shrinking ends here. Now, walk in like the prophecy you are. Your story is no longer in waiting. It is in activation. The pain was never the end. It was the proof. Let's revisit something that was never fully explained to you. The pain you carried wasn't because you were weak. It was because you were the vessel. The world needed someone who could hold more light than noise. Someone who could carry prophetic code broken. Chosen one, you didn't just survive it. You transmuted it. Now, let's go deeper. That M on your palm isn't random. It is an ancient symbol of messengerhood, carried by mystics, prophets, and those sent not to follow the rules of man, but to disrupt the timelines of darkness. It marks those who are bridges between heaven and earth, light and shadow, soul and skin. And the crescent moon? That isn't just lunar beauty. It's a spiritual scythe, a symbol of inner pruning. It shows that you were chosen to cut through illusions, to strip away falseness wherever you go, often at a cost. That's why people have felt uncomfortable in your presence, because you don't wear masks. You see them, and your vision, it exposes the counterfeit. The people who left you, they didn't walk away because of something you lacked. They walked away because your truth activated their fear. The M in your palm carries the vibration of mystery and mission. It calls in those aligned, aren't. So next time someone exits, don't mourn, celebrate, because the divine is still refining your circle for your next elevation. Let me remind you, you were never fragile. You were fortified. That's why the weight fell on you. That's why you had to grow faster. And why you now walk with wisdom that takes others decades to earn. Your dreams aren't just imagination. They are downloads. Your intuition isn't weird. It's wired to divine frequencies. And that restlessness you feel, that sensation that you're not doing enough, even when you're giving your all, that's the spirit within you saying, there's more. You weren't made to settle. You were made to shift dimensions. Now pause, breathe, feel this next part. You were hidden for a reason. Some people mistook your silence for absence. They thought you disappeared. But really, the universe was concealing you while you healed, while your spiritual armor was being reinforced behind the scenes. Why? B requires purity of intention and clarity of purpose. No more leaking energy. No more handing sacred parts of yourself to those who only want access, not alignment. This is where you begin to reclaim yourself. Reclaim your voice from those who tried to shame your truth. Reclaim your intuition from a world that taught you to ignore it. Reclaim your vision, the one that sees beyond this dimension. Because the chosen are not crowd pleasers. They are path clearers. And that means you were never meant to fit in. You were designed to stand out so others could wake up. You are not a reaction to the world. You are a recalibration of it. You know what makes you dangerous in the best way? You don't need a stage to influence. You don't need applause to validate your path. Your very presence is prophetic. When you enter a room, the atmosphere shifts. Why? Because the energy you carry is encoded with frequencies of truth. To succeed by the world's standards, you are here to fulfill the assignment written in your bones before birth. Let me give you a deeper mystery. The number 8 is the only number that loops eternally. No beginning, no end. That's why 888 is used as a seal of divine continuity, spiritual resurrection, and destiny restored. When you drop 888 in the comments, you're not typing numbers. You are activating a contract, a signal that says, I remember who I am now. I accept the calling. Now, let's bring this full circle. You were told you were too emotional, but the truth is, you were too spiritually aware for a numb world. You were told you were too intense, but the truth is, you carried the fire of awakening. You were told you were too much, but the truth is, you were a mirror, and not everyone is ready to see their reflection in clarity. They tried to label you, but you are unlabelable. You are a soul form. Now listen, your silence was sacred, but now your voice is needed. So here's what I ask of you. If this message found the part of you that's been aching for purpose, subscribe, not just for you, but for the ones you'll awaken by staying on this path. We are building a space where people like you are not the minority, not misunderstood, but finally recognized. In the comments, share the moment that hit you the hardest. What opened your spirit? What reminded you of your mission? This isn't just content, it's confirmation. And finally, I leave you with this truth. The shift is not coming, it's already here. Your name is being whispered in rooms of destiny. Your past was not the prophecy your presence is. They thought you were finished. But chosen one, you are just beginning. And this time, you're not walking in timidly. You're entering as evidence that those marked by divine energy cannot be erased by earthly opinions. Ready to rise? Type 888. Revelation. Subscribe so you never miss another divine download. And remember, your scars are sacred. Your symbols are real. Your mission is unstoppable. We see you. We honor you. We're waiting for you on the other side of awakening.